Welcome back to the Cinema Society. We have a lot to do in 15 minutes before I got to run over next door and do it again. So I want to start by, first of all, welcoming you back, and secondly, to see how we did with our last film, which was called Kafaru. How many saw Kafaru? About the last Rhino? Okay, the Rhino movie? Okay, the Rhino movie. Okay, with 5 being great, 1 being awful, how many give that a 5? That's pretty good. A 4? That's very good. A 3? Okay, a 2? A 2, thank you. And how about the, you're going to hear about this? 1? No? Okay, we went from 5 to 2. Anybody want to say what they liked about it or didn't like about it? You thought the cinematography was amazing, okay? And way in the back. He didn't care for it at all. He thought they shot a lot of film and then tried to figure out what story they were going to make out of it. Okay. Did anybody stay to hear? Yes, go ahead. She did not know the subject and found it fascinating. Did you stay for the Q&A with Rolf Bernerschka and weren't they good, Christina? Yeah, our guests have been great this season. Well, good. Okay, very quickly, we've added a film this month. 1 week from today, a film called The Grizzlies. The Grizzlies have nothing to do with animals. Nothing. Today's film does. Next week, sounds like it does, but it does not. It's a docudrama. It's from Canada. It took me over a year to get this movie. And so I hope you'll come. And the lead actress, one of the lead actresses, is going to join us as well. This is a film that you've seen many times, but never like this. Good teacher comes into a community, to a classroom with bad kids. They want nothing to do with learning and how he transforms them. That's what this film is. Think of Stand and Deliver. Think of Lean on Me. Think of Paperback Writer. Think about those films, and that's what this is. Only it's in the Arctic, Canadian Arctic, which is the suicide capital of the world. These kids have nothing to live for until this teacher comes to change them. And it's a docudrama. It's based on a true story. So that's what The Grizzlies is about. And then on the 25th is that American remake of the hit Belgian film, Come As You Are, about the 3 disabled young men who who are smothered with love by their families and are sick and tired of it. And so they hire a van and a driver to drive them to a brothel. And the star of that film is going to be joining us as well. Okay, let's talk Oscars. Can I presume everybody saw it? Did anybody not watch the Oscars? Because you don't like movies. No, something else to do. They had a show. Okay, fine. So for those of you who liked Oscars, how many thought it was a good show? How many didn't care for the show? How many stayed all 3.5 hours to watch it? Okay, so you know, I'm sure you've heard by now of the ratings on the show.
No.
The worst ever. 6 million people, from 6 million less from last year, turned it off. 20% less from the previous year. 20% less. Anybody want to talk about it before I jump in? Okay, I'm jumping in. Ready? Okay. So I'm going to talk from both sides of my mouth, so watch me go. So first of all, I thought everything was going according to plan until screenplay. And when Parasite won screenplay, I thought something's going on. And then when Parasite won director, even though the Directors Guild picked Sam Mendes from 1917, and only like 5 or 6 times have they not matched the Directors Guild Award and the Academy Award for directing. When Parasite won that, I thought, this is really quite unique. And then the bombshell. And I'm not talking about the movie Bombshell. I'm talking about the Best Picture Bombshell. I was very happy and very proud that The Neighbor's Window won Best Short Film. But I was coming to this today to say how proud I am that we were the first to show 1917, all of that, and it didn't win. It won 3 Oscars, but it didn't win the ones that we thought. You're welcome. Thanks for being a part of the cinema side. So I was shocked by that, by Parasite winning. On the one hand, I was disappointed because, well, several reasons, but I was mainly disappointed that Parasite won because the Academy Awards builds a framework, a structure, an environment in which to play the game with. And in this structure, they created a category and a branch called Best Foreign Language Film. And so if you're a film that is of another language than English, you are considered for the foreign language film category. And Parasite won that. And then it won Best Picture. And so I think people like Gregory Peck and Carl Malden are rolling in their grave that here America's most prestigious cinema organization honors as their best film of the year a film from South Korea. It just felt odd. And I know it's historic, but it felt odd. So that's one side of my mouth. I'm going to tell you the other side of my mouth. We have a problem in this country with people, Americans, accepting foreign language films. The number one line I hear when you mention a foreign language film, not to all of you, but to people in general is, oh, I don't want to work that hard at a movie. And I told people at a conference in Toronto at the film festival there from the European Film Office, wondering why European films don't do as well in this country. I told them that you have wonderful films, but the problem is America has a literacy problem. People don't read, or they don't want to read. And the answer to this whole issue is to showcase foreign language films at an early age to people who are young and open to trying something different. Because, and you'll experience this tonight, once the film works, you don't even know you're reading a subtitle. It just disappears. So I think honoring a foreign language film by the Academy as a Best Picture maybe opens the door for people to say, let's try it. Let's try a foreign language film. So I was mixed on what the Academy did. But then I heard of the ratings, and I thought, maybe this doesn't even matter, because only 20 or 23 million people, Americans, watched that show. That's not very good, out of over 300 million. So that's kind of my thinking on it. I will tell you this as well. Marcia Curry, who directed and won for Neighbor's Window, early that day, I wrote him a note, and I said, San Diego is behind you, win. And he wrote back and said, thanks, Andy, and then he won. So I was very, very proud of that. As far as the show is concerned, the thinking was no host would guarantee bringing that show in 3 hours or under. It didn't work. It was 3.5 hours. And although some people like some things, some people were offended by other things, that's the way it usually goes. And those are my thoughts. Anybody want to jump in and give your thoughts? Yes. What? I was going to ask you. There's, right. I thought it was my TV set. And then I figured out it was being bleeped. I know. Well, he had never shown up when he should have shown up 17 years ago, so why not now? But, and then, while we're at it, can you explain Renee Zellweger's speech to me? Somewhere it got off the track. And I was like, wait, what? Say what? What? Any other question or comment? Yes? Roma. Green Book won Best Picture. He won cinematography, and he won foreign language. He might have won director. 6 films had been nominated. Foreign language films have been nominated for Best Picture. None had won until Sunday night. None. People like films like Z, Life is Beautiful, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Amor. Those were all nominated for Best Picture that were foreign language, but none had won till Sunday. Any other questions or comments? Yes.
We've watched some foreign films on Netflix, and you can turn on English translation, and it will dub it.
If you turn on a button and you watch a foreign language film on Netflix, it will dub it?
In English.
In English. Oh, that's interesting to know. I prefer subtitling to dubbing. I worked on a lot of foreign language films when I was at Columbia Pictures, and you know, be a big, tough, heavy guy, and then to be dubbed, hi, how are you? What? What? It's not. Yes. I've told many people what I thought of it. I thought the first half of Parasite was brilliant, and I thought the second half was a bloodbath. And I think that those people who will say, oh, come on, honey, let's go see the winner, are going to be upset with that last half. But the first half was brilliant. And if anybody is planning on seeing Parasite and has no idea what it's about, good. Go in cold and watch this thing happen. It's very creative. Anything else? Yes, we'll take 2 more, yeah. She thinks Chris Rock and Steve Martin should host it next year. They were funny. They were funny. Really, really funny. Yes?
I think Jojo Rabbit ended up being a surprise.
Yes. Yeah, that was a surprise. Jojo Rabbit and screenplay was definitely a surprise. There were a few zingers. Nothing as big as Parasite, but there were a few zingers. I thought 1917 would sweep both sound categories. It only won 1 sound category. Why there are 2 sound category, editing and mixing, is beyond me. There should be 1 category for sound. And by the way, I want to reach out to those who joined me on the bus trip. Anybody here come with me to the bus trip? Wasn't that good? It was a great trip. We did feature animation in the morning and hair and makeup artists in the afternoon, and lunch at Farmers Market. It was really quite fun. And I strongly suggest you do that next year. Okay. Oh, we're late. So I want to tell you about what you're about to see. So you're about to view a very unique piece, a film called The Steed. I first heard about this film, which is Mongolia's Oscar submission, from Cinema Society member Chris Fink, who is a bit busy right now, since she serves as chair of the San Diego Jewish Film Festival, which officially begins this Thursday. We wish her well with that festival and its outstanding lineup. As I mentioned, The Steed is Mongolia's Oscar submission for this year, and it tells a compelling and poignant story of a young boy who braves betrayal, brutality, and war in his bold, relentless quest to reunite with his horse after being separated in the vast, majestic lands of Mongolia during the aftermath of the Russian Revolution. Now, as you watch this film, which at its core centers around love, family, devotion, kinship, and love of homeland, please note that the film was a labor of love, utilizing thousands of horses and herd animals, along with support from local tribes. You'll hear more about that from our guests. And whatever you see on screen, please keep this in mind. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie. In fact, the filmmakers told me that the animals were treated better than the humans in this movie. Wonderfully cared for. How they pulled off all that we will see in this film through the magic of the movies, we will learn from our honored guests who have traveled from Los Angeles to be with us today. Please welcome the producers of The Steed, Alexa Kahn and Trevor Doyle.
Thank you, everyone. So we are so honored to be here at the San Diego Film Society, and we're so excited that we're able to share our film. It took us about 3 years to make, 1 year to pre-production, writing, and then 2 years to film. This movie is based on a very famous Mongolian poem called My Brown Horse. And it's an adaptation of that poem into a film. So I hope you'll get to enjoy it. And we'll be here for the Q&A after the screening.
And we'll reiterate that no animals were harmed. And you'll probably have questions, and we're definitely going to cover all of them.
Thank you and enjoy.
We'll be next door, and then we will start the film. Enjoy The Steed.